Hey guys, it's time for this month's So You Like, my monthly recommendation series where I take a piece of media that I've encountered in some form or other in the past month or so, and I tell you some things that you might enjoy if you have, like me, enjoyed it. This month is a little bit different because, well, I decided to technically do two things for this month, and really, one of them causes the other. So, the first thing is Fake Doctors, Real Friends, the rewatch podcast of Scrubs that Zach Braff and Donald Faison do together, where they go back and watch an episode of Scrubs and then talk about it with often a guest that was involved in that episode. So I'm doing that as the main thing, but on the other hand, I'm also going to do Scrubs itself because I thought it would be expanding things a little bit more. And you kind of need to have watched Scrubs to be able to enjoy Fake Doctors, Real Friends. So the things that we're going to pull out of Scrubs and Fake Doctors, Real Friends are that, one, Scrubs is a workplace sitcom, single camera, with a lot of heavy topics, but a strong emphasis on comedy and dealing with them through comedy and making light of really quite heavy situations in a way that's respectful. And Fake Doctors, Real Friends is really all about revisiting Scrubs 20 odd years later and, you know, looking at the meta-narratives that are involved in it and sort of getting involved in the process of what goes on in that world. So the first thing that we're going to recommend based on that is Community. Now, Community is also a single camera sitcom where there's a lot of sort of meta-narrative-y type things going on, and the cast all love each other a lot. There's also been a recent podcast involving them. It's just a very similar tone of sitcom, but also kind of different. But it works pretty well, and I'd say, yeah, go with it. The second thing that I'm going to recommend to you based on Fake Doctors, Real Friends and Scrubs is Harry Potter and the Sacred Text. Now, this is very different tonally, but it's also based around making a meta-narrative over a rewatch, re-listen, reread of popular media, in this case Harry Potter. Harry Potter Sacred Text is all about doing it through a sort of more spiritual lens, and it's interesting the way that they're sort of tackling J.K. Rowling's transphobia and the way that Scrubs has also tackled their own temporary use of blackface in the whole thing, because the podcast does address that. They're both podcasts, they're both talking about meta-narratives and making good where they've maybe messed up, or the person that made the media they're informing themselves with has messed up. The next thing that I want to recommend to you based on Fake Doctors, Real Friends and Scrubs is Queer Eye. Now, Queer Eye has been on for a bit, but this current version's only been on for a couple of years, and it's on Netflix. It's really interesting to see it because both Queer Eye and Scrubs take on pretty serious topics at times, but with a very light tone, and it's very interesting to sort of play that against each other, or play that with each other, rather. It's a very interesting thing, and the original version of Queer Eye was actually referenced in Scrubs at least once. And several of the issues faced by people that end up on Queer Eye are definitely addressed in Scrubs. And the last thing that I'm going to recommend to you based on Fake Doctors, Real Friends and Scrubs is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is another workplace sitcom which does take on some pretty heavy issues, police brutality and various other bits and bobs along those lines. So I think that they both do take on some interesting stuff, and they both do some very similar things. Granted, Scrubs 20 years ago does still fall into some stereotypes that Brooklyn Nine-Nine definitely tries to avoid, and pretty successfully does avoid in many ways. So, but yes, both of them are very similar in some tone, and I think that that's quite admirable. So those are my recommendations for you based on Fake Doctors, Real Friends and Scrubs. I think that I've got a good selection. I was rather heavy on basically TV shows, but it was difficult to try and find anything else that kind of worked. Oh, let me know in the comments down below what else you would recommend based on Fake Doctors, Real Friends and Scrubs. I would love to know, so let me know down there. Oh my, a new end screen. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you remember to like and share it and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnails over there, or possibly over there, to see other videos by me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!